dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now.
And a new season.
24/7 Buff Pandemonium isn't just a page.
It's a family.
A passionate group of positive Buffalo football fans
who embrace the character and fight of this team.
We strive to embody this passion
and present a fan-first perspective
without all the fluff. Enter the K-Gun Report.
Season 2.
The first season was exciting for 24/7 Buff Pandemonium.
Talking football, connecting with fans, and having quality conversation.
This season we're stepping it up, and we want you all to come be a part of the conversation.
On March 9th, 2021,
the K-Gun Report
is back.
Let's go, Buffalo!
This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to 24/7 Buff Pandemonium presents the K-Gun Report S2E9, Season 2, Episode 9. I'm Jarrod. Joining me tonight is Swank.
Yo!
And Scott.
S2E9.
Hey. This is a special May the 4th be with you 2021. Got it in. Welcome to the show. This is pretty much the post-draft show. Guys, we had a hell of a time last Thursday, did we not?
Hell yeah.
I loved every minute of it. 5 hours of just talking football, and it wasn't just Bills football. That you kind of study a little bit. And I was telling Swank before we even started this thing, it's like it was pretty good flow, and people were conversing the whole time. We had 15 plus people the whole time watching with us, which is awesome, and that just shows our page is growing and the fandemonium is getting strong.
Yeah, man. I know it ended up like throughout the night, over 500 different people or different viewers hit the draft party. So that was awesome. Thank you guys so much. It was really nice putting a face and a voice to some of these interactions that we have online. We got some highlight video from our boy Eater down there frying wings in Florida while the draft was going on. We had Alberto. We had there was a ton of people. A lot of our friends calling in. It was great, man. It was really great.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the comments going on throughout the show and the comments on comments. The fandemonium was interacting with each other, and it was awesome. I must give props out to Eater, who earlier in the night projected one of those defensive ends from Miami University, and bam, he was right. So also, I'm incredibly shocked. I shouldn't be, but we had a lot of people throwing out the right draft picks and the right. If they didn't get the right names, they got the right position. So
yeah,
kudos to the fandemonium and the Mafia for knowing their stuff.
Oh yeah.
But what else happened? I guess so. Thursday night we had if you made a comment or you called in, right? You had a chance to win this guy.
Ooh, look at that pretty handsome little helmet.
Andre Reed.
Hold on,
helmet.
let me just throw up what you guys, because we're not doing this now, right? We're gonna wait for a while to do this.
I don't know. When do you want to do it? Want to do it now?
Let's make them wait. Let's make them wait a little bit, right? Like, damn, man, dangle
If you commented or called Thursday night during the draft party, you are on the Fandemonium Wheel of Destiny. And then we're going to give that a spin later on. We're going to let you guys wait a minute.
Every single person that commented is on that big old wheel you see on your screen right now, and we're going to freaking spin that motherfucker.
Spinning.
Spin that wheel.
Spin that wheel.
And Scott's finally wearing a different shirt, which is he's got the original Bills Fandemonium shirt on. The OG shirt.
OG.
Look at that. So then we also have still our 24/7 Buff Fandemonium stickers. Personal message, just your address. Those are free. We'll send them right out to you. 24/7 Buff Fandemonium black and white shirts. We still have those. And our Notorious Dig shirt we still have available. $25 includes shipping and handling. $5 from each of those purchases will go to American Heart Association. Before we really get into the draft, the post-draft, I just want to remind everybody this coming up weekend is Mother's Day. So I just want to, we won't be on until next Tuesday, so we won't have a chance to say Happy Mother's Day. So Happy Mother's Day to all those mothers out there. Happy birthday to my mom, Karen, my future mother-in-law, Irene, and the mother of my 3 children. Happy Mother's Day, Sarah. I love you.
Happy Mother's Day, everyone.
There you go.
Happy Mother's Day, Mom.
Happy Mother's Day, Mom.
And my mother-in-law, Sue, and my wife has our 2 dogs, so
there you go.
Happy Mother's Day.
Doggies are babies, too.
I'll say Happy Mother's Day to my mom, Karen, as well, my lovely wife, Ellen, and my mother-in-law, Mary Ellen.
There you go. There you go. Happy Mother's Day. So,
what a bunch of good boys.
Tomorrow's Cinco de Mayo, so May's just full of these wonderful days. All right, guys, we're gonna just put it. I was gonna go in order of the way we drafted, but because we have a couple players of the same position, we'll just put them together. We might as well start off with our round 1, number 30 defensive end from the University of Miami, Gregory. What's the last name, Scott? Go.
I say Rosseo.
Russo.
All right, so if you were to go back, Fandemonium, don't be afraid to comment either. If you go back,
I think of Junior Seau, so the last part's spelled the same way. So is it Russo or Rosseo?
Listen, it doesn't matter. Do you know? It's May the 4th, so I'll nerd out just a little bit. Like, I enjoy Star Wars. It's okay, whatever. But Sarah and I, when I broke my back, we ran through the whole Marvel. All the Marvel movies, like chronologically, the way they should have been viewed as far as like the storyline goes, because I don't know if you know this, but when you break your back, you got a ton of time to just do nothing and stare at the TV. So we watched all of them because we got Disney Plus, and I slept on Guardians of the Galaxy. Have you guys ever seen that movie before?
No, I heard of it. I've seen previews.
Dude, it's so good. Like they're so entertaining. Like 1 and 2, both of them are awesome. But there is this character in it, and his name is the same as the nickname of our number 1 pick, Groot. Everybody
That's
calls
his
him
name?
Groot.
Groot. Nice.
Yeah, and also it's Vin Diesel. It's this tree alien character.
Okay, yeah.
And he's
I
like
know
this
who it
cute
is.
little guy, right? And Vin Diesel does this voice, and all he says is "I'm Groot." Like that's all he says the whole time.
Good job,
Yeah.
Diesel.
Yeah, dude, no, for real, it was funny. But yeah, man.
Swank, use your creative mind. Let's come up with a T-shirt for that one.
Oh, okay. You giving me a little? I'll just write
Okay.
that down on the dream board over here.
Just write it while we're doing our show here.
Alberto, hello everyone. Hey. John, hello everybody. Robert,
Lisa-
Buffalo Bills.
Lisa asked what we're drinking. Juice Bomb IPA. Tasty stuff. That's what I'm drinking, Lisa.
Yep, I got Juice Bomb IPA as well.
Non-pay week. Pibber.
PBR.
All right, let's get to football.
Let's do it.
Guys, if you look back at the video of us Thursday night when we saw this name come up, at first we were like,
If you have like 5 hours, you could just go watch the
Okay.
whole thing.
or you just fast forward it to 5 hour mark. But yeah, it was a shock. I mean, I didn't have this guy on the radar at all.
No.
But when his name came up and I went home that night and I looked him up and stuff like that, oh my God, what an impressive guy he is. What an impressive man. Swank,
did
what do
you
you think about this guy?
I love him. Yo, Eater called it, man. Like he said it. We were gonna get one of those Miami guys, those huge dudes, and we just definitely got the big one. Like I was reading up on stats. Did you guys see that picture of him next to McDermott and Bean, like going to
Yeah.
shake his hand?
I
And
thought that was Photoshop. That's a real picture.
I did too. It's a real picture. Like his hip comes up to like McDermott's chest or something. Like it's ridiculous. His hand is 11 and a half inches from his thumb to his pinky. Like the
Yeah.
dude is just a massive beast. His wingspan is enormous. Like he had such a killer 2019 season. Well, he would have been sack leader for all of college football minus one guy. Who was that?
That had to have been Chase Young.
Chase Young, yeah. So like,
Yep.
you know,
Ohio
he
State.
opted out last year because his mom was a COVID nurse. I think we said it when all that stuff was happening last year with Bills players. Like, can't hold it against them, family first, all that stuff. Like,
Yep, absolutely.
And Jarrod, I think you made mention that like this could be like a sleeper year for a lot of guys that showed what they had 2 years ago and then opted out this year, and then now you're kind of gambling, but people are kind of forgetting. You know, a lot of people said he dropped. I mean, you could legitimately have gotten Chase Young for a 30th round pick.
Right. Yeah, I did. I remember halfway through the draft Thursday night, I kept mentioning about these guys who either had limited games in 2021 or opted out, and just so happened that we landed one of those guys. Yeah, I'm excited for this individual.
Do you guys remember the stat I threw at you yesterday? I was looking through some information.
The fun facts guy.
The fun fact. I
Fun
wanted
facts.
to share it on the fan in the morning, but guys, if you're listen to this stat, and you're gonna find this crazy. In 2019, the top 10 sackers in all of college football, within the top 10. Number 2 was Rosail, or Groot. I'm gonna call him Groot.
Our new guy.
Right. Number 2 was AJ Epinesa, or number 8 was AJ Epinesa, and number 10 was Carlos Basham Jr. Out of the whole NCAA college, we have 3 out of the top 10 sackers in 2019.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah.
That's absolutely insane. If those 3 guys, like, so
Defensive ends, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Defensive ends, yep.
So if you're looking at Epinesa, Basham, Groot, and then now you got Eddie Oliver, if those 4 dudes hit, you have one of the most explosive, one of the youngest defensive lines in all of football that could be with your team for a really long time. Like, if you can manage their contracts right, if everything aligns, you might be looking at this 90s era football team everybody wanted to be comparing with this last year's team to. I mean,
But do you mean Bruce Smith, Phil Hansen, Leon Seals, Jeff Wright type defensive line scheme?
yeah. I mean,
Oh, God.
mayhem. I mean,
Mayhem.
destruction and mayhem. That's what I mean. Yeah.
Bad things,
Here's something else to get excited
I'm a bad
about this defensive line. AJ Epinesa spent a year last year trying to lose weight and produce, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now he's going to have a whole off season of training under this 260 plus pounds. Bills got him at 280 plus, so now he's trained at a weight that the Bills want him at. Gregory Rousseau Groot is 6'7", 265 pounds, so he's already matches the height and weight that they would like at the defensive end.
Yeah.
Thing. His only knack is he's only played 14 games, so he's inexperienced. But I tell everybody, 15 and a half sacks does not happen on accident.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, Bean was quoted as saying that. Like, you don't, trip into 15 and a half sacks.
No.
You know?
And here, ready for this one?
Yeah.
I tried counting how many times Carlos Basham gets double-teamed when he rushes the edge. And it may have been easier for me to count how many times he wasn't double-teamed.
Yeah.
Right.
So you throw that on top of Latulier getting double-teamed. That's 4 linemen taking care of 2 rushers. Where are the other linemen coming from to take care of the other 2?
But yeah, at that point, Scott, when one comes in, the other one, one goes out, one comes in. It's not like those linemen get a break. If Latulier is getting double teamed and then Basham comes in, it's not like you can one-on-one him. Now it's double team every single play of the whole game.
Yeah, well,
so that's going to open up a defensive lineman, and it's going to open up that blitz package like crazy.
Well, it's like, so who do you want to let free? Like, so are you saying, if you're doubling up Groot and you're doubling up Latulier and you got Eddie Oliver out there, like, so you're just going to let him run free at you? Like, or AJ Epinesa, you're like, well, he's the young guy who's not proven or whatever, man. Like, however it goes, it is so dangerous to have 4 guys guarding 2 guys and then just letting the other 2 dudes go free. Or one of them go free. It's a great problem to have as long as he develops into what we want him to develop into. I saw his odds. He's like, like 2,000 to 1 or something to be defensive rookie of the year, but he's only like 7th down on the list. You know what I mean? So I don't know. He it depends on how much they get him in the rotation. He's still learning the position. Well, he was like a wide receiver or something stupid in high school, right? Like,
why wouldn't it be?
Yeah, right. Like, you just, hey, here you go.
All-around athlete is what I got. His athleticism, speed, just an athlete.
Scott, Mike Vogt wants to know if you're finally washing that shirt.
I did wash it.
All right, perfect. Joey Hatch brings up a great point. He's going to be freaking beast within 2 years, and Bruce Smith's going to mentor him, so he'll probably hit the field before the high ceiling guy. Listen, did you see the video of him talking to Bruce Smith?
Yeah.
Isn't it crazy how all these old players are still really involved in this team?
Yeah.
I found it crazy how soft-spoken Bruce Smith was.
Yeah,
I picture him as a badass mofo, and here he is just calmly talking to this guy, and he's if we can have another Bruce Smith on that defense, I think I'm not going to jinx it. But
yeah. Todd Freelove says, hey.
hey.
Yeah, we got Ken O'Daniel saying he should be in shape if he shows up ready. Sky's the limit. Hopefully they listen and learn from vets. I think that's what that whole Bruce Smith thing was about too. I mean, aside from like learning from dudes like Jerry Hughes and Addison, now you got Bruce Smith who's like gonna mentor you, and they did something similar like that with a draft pick they had 3 years ago. Josh Allen, I think, with Jim Kelly.
Kelly.
They do it right, man. Like, it's great.
Eddie says it's part of our Bills culture. So
yeah.
Yep.
I wanted to get at did you guys see Kathleen Carlson's?
Keith Carlson, yeah.
She enjoyed some of the draft. However, you guys were very, very hungry. Was it nerves? Maybe you could play it back with music. I bet it would be very entertaining. Go Bills. That is hilarious. No, we like to eat and drink, so that's all it was.
Yeah. It was the first time we all hung out together too.
Yeah.
It's a Gun Report, so it was fun.
Let me throw this out here too, guys. Gregory Groot and his sidekick there. His nickname's Boogie, right?
Boogie.
Basham.
Boogie.
So we got Boogie and Groot.
Hell yeah.
He played the 3 technique, and for those that don't know what the 3 technique is, it's a defensive tackle that lines up over a gap of the guard, and he was successful over that technique too. So Groot can play multiple positions, and that's the versatility that Bean and McDermott love. And if you had Epinesa, Groot, and Basham out there, and you just put all defensive ends out there for a pass rush with all that speed, again, good luck. You team them up with Latulier getting double teamed, again, good luck.
Right,
This guy's very versatile, and he's only played 14 games, so like I said, it's his experience that he lacks. But in 14 games, he had 59 plus tackles. That's over 4 a game, 19 and a half tackles for loss, which is impressive, and that's more than one a game, and 15.5 sacks, which is just over one a game. So he's putting it to it when he's on the field.
Yeah, experience doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing either. I mean, look at some of the star athletes that made hell of careers in the NFL only playing college ball. You know, they never played in high school. But, you know, another thing about not having a lot of playing time in the collegiate level is you aren't formed to a specific way of playing. So he has a limited amount of games played, which means he's primed to come into Buffalo, and they can make him who they want him to be, which is
mold.
Perfect.
Yep.
So yeah, we touched on our round 2, number 61 pick, defensive end Carlos Boogie Basham Jr. from Wake Forest.
Yeah, dude. I love his
Boogie
nickname.
Now listen.
Go ahead. No, I was gonna say I was watching like highlights on him and all that stuff. Man, I love the way he attacks people. I love the way he hits people. He's a badass dude. And I saw I don't know if you would agree with this or not, Scott, but like I saw I think Chris Brown or Sal, I think it was Chris Brown, was trying to compare him to like Shaq Lawson. And I guess I could see it like maybe body type. This dude seems to have way more fire in his ass than I think I ever saw Shaq. Like Shaq didn't have this kind of passion, I don't think, or doesn't, or whatever. However you want to say it, this dude looks like he wants to hit you and he wants to hurt you. Like
he's got a hell of a base on him too. It's got like tree trunks on the bottom lower half.
Yep. As far as body type, yeah, he's similar, but you're right. The drive, this guy is 110% motor. He is chugging along wherever the ball is going as far as runs. So he's got a lot higher motor than Shaq Lawson does.
Yeah, Joey Hatch said I saw in the highlight reel that Boogie Basham was throwing people around, and it was insane. He can't wait. Neither can we. That's what's going to be the wonderful thing about this year. If things keep progressing like they are, 3 preseason games, guys, we're going to be able to see these guys before they actually get out on the field.
If you guys want a fun video to watch, go to the Senior Bowl highlights and check out O-line versus D-line.
Yeah, I watched it.
You'll see that Carlos Basham is playing against pretty high octane offensive linemen, and he's got a rip, he's got a power move, and he's got speed.
He was playing inside too on that.
Yep, he was playing 3 technique in a lot of those plays. So, and Bean likes to go to those things. He loves to go to those senior bowl games. That's where he gets a lot of those prospects that a lot of people wouldn't think that we would draft.
Right.
Like Dane Jackson, all them. Yep.
Guys, bringing these 2 guys in, these 2 edge rushers. Nobody expected 2 defensive guys, especially 2 edges coming in the first. Well, I did. Scott's raising it.
I said 2 edge rushers in the first 4 rounds.
Listen. These old timers that are there now, they're gonna get a fire under their ass, right? Does this mean not all of them are gonna stay? And if that's so, who do you think is on top of the leaderboard for being cut, Scott?
That's tough. That's tough because Addison took a pay cut, right? So you'd hate for someone to take a pay cut and then see you later. But Addison, Hughes, Brian Cox Jr., F.A. Obata, all those guys only have 1 year left on their contract. So it was smart to get a defensive end in the draft, and not a couple like they did. But I don't know who they would get rid of. Post-draft or post-June something, I think their upside of draft capital, salary cap capital would decrease. So they'd have to make that move pretty quick. But it would have to be Addison if you ask me, because Hughes has been there.
Yeah, give it to the guys been there.
I don't think either of those dudes are gone. I think Hughes and Addison stay. If for nothing else, like continuity. I think you're gonna definitely keep those 2 dudes. I think Starr's staying. Eddie's obviously going to be there. Epenesa's going to be there, and then these 2 guys, and then you might see dudes like Mike Love. I know they're talking huge about Daryl Johnson, so I would expect him to be around in some sort of capacity. But you might see some of these dudes that have been like, the 10 to 15 rotational snaps a game kind of players. They might be, head to the practice squad or heading out of town. But I really don't think I don't think Addison or Hughes is going anywhere. Like you're saying, they're both just like huge Buffalo guys. And you don't really know what you're getting with these 2 other dudes. Like, we can talk poetic about how great Groot and Basham can or could be, but they're, Aaron Mabin was like a huge guy,
Yeah,
right?
remember
Like,
him?
you know, he was a first rounder and he was supposed to be a stud, and look what happened, you know. Josh Rosen was going to be the best out of those 5-6 quarterbacks, whatever, you know. So you just got to kind of wait and see. But yeah, I would think those two dudes are still going to be here.
It's really early to talk about.
Yeah.
But it's fun to talk about still. Josh Snyder says, "Love this draft, putting work in the trenches. McBean showed they want competition on the line. Make those guys play hard." And I've always said the game is won and lost at the line of scrimmage. If you can get those beasts up front on either side of the ball going to the best of their ability, then you know there's and it always works back, right? If the front's being controlled, the back in the offense is going to do great. The front's control the defense, linebackers and safeties are going to be successful. So yes, get those guys that you need. Awesome. All right, let's go around.
We got some monsters on that offensive line.
Let's go round 3. Number 93 pick, offensive tackle Spencer Brown, Northern Iowa. He's a big guy too. Jeez, it's like they're gonna
6'8.5", 310 pounds.
They're forming a wall. Anybody got anything about that offense? I didn't really watch this guy at all, so my fault. Dropped the ball, but
he was another opt out from last year. He's from the University of Northern Iowa. We're talking about Spencer Brown, right? Ex tight end. He's known for his speed. He runs a 4.9 40, 29 bench press, 1.69 10 split, which is really fast in the NFL for running backs. There's a score that they give these kids at the Senior Bowl. It's called a RAS score, and it's based off athletic ability. And he scores a 10 out of 10. So the Bills have this big, strong, very athletic, young kid that started in college that potentially could. He's not going to start obviously because we got Darrell Williams and Deion Dawkins, but he's a hell of a backup. I can tell you right now, and you hate to compare college players with NFL players, but I would say he's an automatic upgrade over Bobby Hart and Ryan Bates, who would be the 2 backup tackles.
Right.
And I can say the same about the guy Tommy Doyle. Just off my perspective, just off of what I've seen, those guys are just so much stronger, faster, quicker with their hands. They get their base set quicker. They can do the backstep and pass protection a lot quicker from what I've seen. So,
yeah, and you're speaking of round 5, number 161, offensive tackle Tommy Doyle from Miami, Ohio. Yeah, right. That's the other guy that we picked up too.
Right. They both have good pad level. Was part of the positives that they got. They're patient with pass protection. And what did the Bills do? They pass. And that's a lot saying for guys that are 6'8", 310 plus pounds. That's moving quick.
Yeah, we're gonna go back a little bit on the defensive end. Colin Alexander just had a nice little write up here. He doesn't have issues with the picks. It's not the position choice. He just has issues with who they picked, with who we picked up. He'd rather have Tyron or Owe. Yeah, I mean, it's a valid point. Looking at the technique of these guys coming around the edge, but that's a wonderful thing. You know, the last couple of months we've been playing GM. We all play GM, and I don't mean to bust your bubble, Colin, but you know, when we put our opinions out there and we enjoy your guys' opinions, ultimately it comes down to the individuals who are getting paid to make the decisions. So even though those guys are outstanding athletes, and you are correct with everything that you said, Bean and McDermott and the rest of the coaching staff saw something that we might not have. Being taller, it is harder for an edge guy to get down and dip. So the 6'7" defensive end is going to have to start, you know, using different techniques and stuff to get to the quarterback. It's understandable. But like I said, Bean and McDermott, they must have seen something in these kids. I told Scott and Swank earlier this week after the draft that I feel like possibly they've been looking at Russell, you know, the whole time, and they were just putting up the smoke screen with the running backs and stuff like that just in case someone was interested. So yeah, valid points, Colin, but yeah, I mean, I trust the process, and we're just running with the guys that the Buffalo Bills picked, and we're homers for sure, so we're gonna count on them to do what they have to do.
I guess I have a kind of a question, maybe you guys can answer it, where you said that there's like redundancy with Eddie O's skill set and these guys' skill set. I mean, they're playing completely different positions, and with Eddie O's skill set still developing and hopefully making a huge jump and burst this year with Starback and everything, I don't know if that's a bad thing to have Ed Oliver's skill set, but like redundant across the line, but also that like they're on the edge instead of on the interior. So is that like apples to oranges? Is that apples to apples? What do you guys have any insight on that?
They have to mesh somehow. They have to play well together somehow. So we all know that Ed Oliver had not really put the numbers we want to see up, but he's also been playing out of position too.
Yeah.
So there's that factor. Again, we don't know exactly how this is all going to come together. We're banking on Frazier and McDermott and Bean knowing. So, like I said, valid points, but you never know until you see it, and that's what the preseason's for.
Let me real quick break down what out of position means, because we do say that a lot with Ed Oliver, and some people are like, well, they're just saying it because everybody else is saying it. What we mean by out of position is Star Lotulelei. There's defensive tackles in the league. There's one technique. Actually, there's a zero technique that plays directly over the center. And then you have the one technique that plays over the gap of the center, either side. And then there's the three technique that lines over the guard, whether it's a gap responsibility. Ed Oliver, when Star Lotulelei played 2 years ago, was coming into his own in that three technique because Lotulelei was able to play the one technique very effectively by taking up 2 blocks. Ed Oliver was out of place last year because Star Lotulelei opted out, and there was no other good Tech 1 technique defensive tackle to allow Oliver to play that three technique. So Ed Oliver was playing the one technique in many occasions.
And there wasn't a preseason to test anybody out.
Right. They brought in Vernon Butler to potentially be a backup to Lotulelei, so he needed another year under his belt. That's why he's still on the team, because if Lotulelei gets tired, and Vernon Butler can come in and play that one technique. Ed Oliver, even AJ Epinesa, Zimmer can play that three technique, but they need that one technique in there. And they need the differences because of the gap responsibility. And Star Lotulelei does such a good job on that defensive line taking up 2 blockers, because when you're lining over the gap of that center, the guard's got to take care of you too. And that'll leave Ed Oliver alone with the other side guard. The 5 technique defensive ends have that responsibility, and McDermott is a defensive-minded guy, and so is Frazier. Obviously, he's a defensive coordinator, and they need these positions. It's not redundant. You need 2 Tech 1s, you need 2 Tech 3s, and you need people to fill in those gaps. So you need a difference. You can't have everybody be the same type of player, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. And again, Colin, we're just fans trying to talk football, so you do have valid points, but we're having fun too. And yep, go Bills. Hey guys, we had another offensive lineman added to the list too, at number 7, round 7, pick number 236, Jack Anderson. Was he? Correct me if I'm wrong. Is he center or is he guard? Guard play.
Both.
Okay. All right. So there's our possible. Right, he's from Texas Tech. He looked like he had a pretty good leverage on him, but I did see him get beat in that offensive line, defensive line video that you shared. He did get beat, but you never know what the NFL game is going to bring for him.
He's getting.
I think with the Bills. Go ahead, Swank.
No, I mean he's getting compared to Richie Incognito a lot.
Okay.
Just in size, build, and like attitude.
Tattoos.
Obviously, I don't put a whole lot of weight and that kind of stuff where it's like this guy's going to be the next blah blah blah. He hasn't done anything in the NFL yet, so we'll see. But I think the through line for this whole draft is that they are trying to secure both sides of the line, right?
Yep.
They're trying to make it so that this is what the Patriots did, man. They made sure that they had fresh bodies in there competing for starting positions on both sides of the line, like that whole 20-year run. I think after like the second or third season with Brady under center, you couldn't name more than like 2 of the guys on the line on either side of the ball, I bet, because they just completely like whoever was the best, whoever's in there, whatever, like biggest, best, we're winning championships. And those guys wanted to be there because they knew that's what they were doing. And I think that's what you're finding right now in Buffalo, man. Like, they're just trying to get a bunch of hogs in there to, like, compete to stay there and stay there for a long time.
And anytime you can bring in an offensive, any position, and sign them on a rookie contract for 3+ years,
it's good.
And they can outperform someone you just signed for $2-3 million. You're saving cap money just like that.
Absolutely.
And that's the reason why there's the draft, so you can fill in these positions, so you can afford the Josh Allen's contracts in 2 years. You can afford the Tremaine Edmonds contract in 2 years. You get these guys in here. You don't necessarily start them, but you develop them. So by the time you do re-sign them, they may not have a lot of starting, but they have the experience under their belt where they'll sign for a long period of time without a lot of money.
Okay.
This Jack Anderson, I like this pickup. Towards the end of the draft, I was thinking, well, I think they should get a guard or center. Remember, Mitch Morse is the only center on the team with Feliciano and Ryan Bates being able to play the center if they have to, but they have no true center to back up Mitch Morse, who has concussion issues. Mitch Morse has 2 years left on his contract. He's 29 years old. This Jack Anderson is known to be versatile, durable, strong. Again, he's related to compared to Incognito, and his pluses were run blocking, which a lot of Bills fans that think the Bills should run more should like, and he keeps his feet moving, so he doesn't get caught off balance a lot. So I really like this pickup.
Yeah, and he's got a lot of time to sit there in the OTAs in the offseason to fix up anything that he needs to. And when these managers and coaches select these players, they know what they have to work on. So it's going to be interesting to see how this offensive pickups progress during the offseason.
And as far as culture goes, you know damn well that Mitch Morse and John Feliciano are not going to let these rookies sit back and just learn by watching. They're going to kick their ass. You know they are, because our line has that mentality.
Yeah. And that's that new Buffalo Bills. Yeah, the mentality, the leadership. They got a goal. We all know what the goal is. You know, they got a goal. They want to get everybody on the same track, and they want to get ultimately to the big game.
Is that to be a member on the 24/7 Buffett and the K-Gun Report?
Yes, to be interviewed by the K-Gun Report?
Yeah. Hey, guys, hang with us. We're going to do our Fandemonium Wheel of Destiny later on, so stick with us. Let's see who the winner is. Again, your name is on there from Thursday night's conversation. All right.
You gotta love Lisa's question real quick. Do you think Aaron Rodgers will come to Buffalo and be Josh's backup?
Yeah, dude, that whole thing is like weird. I don't want to spin off on it. Too bad. But I read an article today. Jake Kummerow was a big reason why like all this is happening. Not like specifically that, but it was more of like Aaron Rodgers, the day before the Packers traded him to Buffalo, was singing his praises and saying that he should be wide receiver 4 and that he like always got him out of jams. He was super reliable. Like a press conference where he said that, the very next day the Packers traded him to Buffalo. And
spit in the face.
And that pissed him off because it was like he wanted to be more involved in the everyday in and out, who's coming, who's staying kind of part of this, and as he should be, to be honest. I mean, they haven't really done much for him in the last couple of years to get him anybody decent.
So Lisa, never say never. First of all, okay. So
I'm gonna say it never. No.
Okay, but here. Listen to this really quick, and then we'll move on. Rodgers comes to Buffalo, backs up Josh Allen, plays 2 parts in backup as Josh Allen and Jeopardy host.
Ooh, nope. Still not going to happen.
Anyway, still not going to happen. All right. Round 6. Number 203 draft pick. Wide receiver, Marquez Stevens. Houston. All right. I watched a little video on this guy. Another specialist guy. The only reason why I say that is because he did catch some balls, but he used his body. I mean, he's going to have to join Dawson Knox in the jugs machine and get his hands out there to catch some balls, but it seemed like every catch he was catching was in his body. But he's got world-class speed. Swank, you know anything about this?
Yeah,
young man?
I do. He is a kickoff return specialist, but not a punt return specialist. Okay. So he isn't really developed on that end of it. He didn't take a ton of punts. Kick returns, yes. He's got speed. You know, he could be an Andre Roberts. He could compete with, I think, Isaiah McKenzie for that role. But I read another presser where Brandon Beane said Isaiah's been down with the punter they signed in Florida, catching balls off him every day, and he's taking it very seriously. He wants this role. So that kind of changes my narrative and my tune about like, well, we know, Isaiah had one run back for a touchdown that was amazing in kind of a garbage time game. But he's been a little shaky, unreliable in the punt return in the past. this might be a whole new Isaiah McKenzie. Like I said, I love the way that dude works out. I love the energy that he brings. Everybody on the team loves him. He's got a great attitude, and now he's down in Florida practicing with the dude that he wants to take the role to, you know what I mean? Like, you're connecting, like catching punts from the dude. I'm rooting for him. I hope this kid does something, and I hope he steps into that role. But man, it's got to be so nerve-wracking being a coach and a GM, putting a rookie in to get, balls bombed at him like
preseason
on Sunday regular season football. Like, I don't know. I don't know if I'd trust it.
Right, because I could say preseason, but the regular season atmosphere is a lot different than than that. Yeah.
A lot of fans are going to not like me for saying this.
Then say it.
Ooh.
Marquez Stevenson draft, the pickup of him. I think our friend Wade lost his chance at kickoff return.
Yeah, he might. But
you guys aren't going to like this either. Wade never had a shot at it to begin with.
Not Christian Wade.
He ran a 4.440, and which, hearing what this guy does, you'd have thought, oh, geez, I got to look up this guy's number. He must run like a 4.29, 4.3. It's a 4.440. But apparently what makes him look even faster is that he is that really fast change of pace, shifting agility, is able to go from point A to point B like that, and that's what makes him seem like he's faster.
Who's the Kansas City Chiefs guy? Dante Hall or whatever.
Dante Hall. Yeah. He's that. He's got a quick release. Apparently, he's a great slot receiver. Does catch with his body, but he's got game breaker ability is the highlight that he's got. So, I love Isaiah McKenzie. I think his job is safe as a backup slot and punt returning. But I think if there's a kick returner, I think that's probably why Bills brought Stevenson in and see if they can't take that role.
Do you guys know anything about, like, as far as possession and handling skills? Like, does he secure the football? Like, does he have any fumbling issues, anything like that? Don't know.
I haven't seen anything.
No, that's just like the sites I use usually are the first ones to tell you. A lot of people don't know Etienne was a fumbling guy. He had a lot of ball issues. So this site I use definitely would point out his faults if it was a fumbling or dropping issue. But
it's funny you mentioned Etienne because David Williams just said, as much as I love our draft picks, if Travis Etienne would have been there at 30, the Bills would have taken him. I don't think so.
I don't think so either. No.
Listen, Dave, thank you for commenting and getting your 2 cents in.
Absolutely, man. Thank you.
We say no because of what Bean has mentioned, that they never really had any inclination to get a running back in the draft this year. But that's one of those things that you never know. If he was there, you don't know if they would have taken him. He wasn't there, so they didn't. But as us three guys, we definitely feel like running back was a no-go.
Point of order.
Go.
Dude, I sent you guys that thing about that tweet, right, where Bean was like basically said that they never were interested in running back, and like
smoke.
Was a big. Oh, I could put the graphic up actually.
Put the graphic up. Like, it took a lot of time to make that graphic.
Yeah. Let me just do that while I'm talking about this because it's worth it to do. Here you go. This is a Scott's own graphic, the smokescreen Bean, man. That should be a T-shirt, by the way. Yeah, he said that they never were really interested in a running back, and he doesn't really know where that came from, except for it came from him. And he's done it. He's done it every year, dude. And it's so funny because I think, like, other teams buy into it every year. Fans buy into it every year. And all he does is, like, he just whispers this little thing. And then we, as a whole fan base, we take it and we're like, they got to be going after Harris or Etienne. And then the media's like, well, they said. Or all he's got to do is make one little phone call and be like, hey, we might be interested in moving up for whatever. And then that leaks and it's boom. You know what I mean? I think what we all got to step back and realize before we get all swept up in the fact that there was actually football news to be had and rumors to talk about and things to get hyped on is that they already addressed the running back position with Breida, right? All this offensive line stuff is really addressing the run game. Mm-hmm. And we, the three of us even said, no running, like we didn't, before the ETN rumor started coming around, none of us wanted a running back, right? Like, so not that we would have been mad about it, but just that, like,
Absolutely.
we said, like, there's more pressing issues. I'm more surprised that they didn't go after a corner in one of those things. And actually Bean joked around about that too. And I know they got the later round corner and everything, but, like, it's, you know, they know what they got, man. They know what they got. And before the draft rumors started, we were all okay with pretty much, if they don't draft a quarterback or a kicker in the first round, we're all good. They can get whoever they want. I was really surprised a lot of people wanted linebackers, because I was just like, man, we just paid our linebacker. You know, like we got good linebackers.
And we brought in two that have starting experience.
And
that increased the depth chart, that made it better just with those two, Marquis Lee and Williams there.
Yeah. So anyway, these are all good problems to have. So it's really exciting to be discussing and debating and, like, going back and forth about it. But, man, I don't think you can be mad. Like, you can't be mad about it. I saw a bunch of reports too. The Bills are top 3 in the post-draft power rankings right now, in most all of the mocks. So, like, they didn't do anything but get better.
Right.
Mm-hmm. In free agency and in draft picks.
Yeah,
everything got better.
absolutely.
Absolutely. That's how you win.
But here's my question, and I'll never know the answer to it. Right? Is I know about half of the mafia wanted us to get running back.
Mm-hmm.
Makes me think if Bean never meant, and keep in mind, Bean started this right after our AFC Championship loss, saying we're going to address the run game. He started it then.
Mm-hmm.
And then we traded. Then we got Breida, and then it kind of died off a little bit. And then 2 weeks before the draft started, he threw that out again about needing a running back. I wonder how many mafia would not want a running back if he never mentioned a running back.
It's interesting, right? Like, it's power suggestion, and like you start to get excited about, like, the top prospects, just like everybody did. Where you're like, Najee Harris, Travis Etienne, well, we could get one of these guys, and it could be like the Saquon Barkley of our team, but we have a better team, and, like, look at all this stuff, or Alvin Kamara, like, wow, like you start to daydream about, like, what if everything was awesome.
Right, and then you hit the nail on the head when you said all it has to do is be mentioned.
Oh yeah.
And not only will the media just take off with it, but us as Bills fans, he knows how passionate us Mafia are.
Oh yeah.
That he knows as soon as something's
we'll
mentioned.
We'll tweet it. We'll write full mock-ups. We'll do articles. Like, it'll all be just, like, garbage. And then if, like, some competitor is sitting there like, I wonder, you're doing a Google search, it's just like running backs, dude.
Yeah, Bills are going after running backs.
Who's the new running back in the Buffalo Bills?
So I'm going to throw this out there really quick because...
Real quick, you want to know how I knew they weren't going to get Etienne or Harris? But why it doesn't matter? It's because they didn't even address it with the 7th and 6th pick.
Right,
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't even addressed.
Nope.
Yeah, because you had
not even in
so.
not even in the unsigned rookies was a running back addressed.
So something positive did come out of this not signing a running back, and I kind of feel like, you know, when somebody, like we spoke about it during the draft party, when somebody was taken off the draft, we felt relieved because now we didn't have the pressure of getting them.
Yeah.
Our boy Devin Singletary, we thought he was going to be a casualty of this. Devin.
Oh, Devin. Oh, God.
Yeah, I said Devon. Devin Singletary, right? We thought he was going to be a casualty of the draft.
Devon.
Singletary. Let me get to the point.
Go, Jared, before you lose your thought.
But obviously he's more secure now than he was before the draft. And as much as we'd like him to stay on the team, we thought he was going to be a casualty of the draft possibly. But, oh, man, I'm so happy that they didn't get a running back now that Singletary is probably safe. So...
Well, he has to still play the game, but watch his preseason, his off-season workouts. Apparently, he's gained a few pounds, and his trainer that he's working with says he's hinting towards a decrease in his 40 time.
Well, and he's
decrease as in faster.
Faster.
He's also working out with Devin Cook, right? Or Dalvin Cook.
Dalvin Cook from Minnesota. Yeah.
See, Devin.
Divine.
All right. Let's throw up that secondary image really quick. Round 6, selection number 212, safety Damar Hamlin from Pittsburgh. I like this guy. I'm gonna tell you why. I'll lead the way.
Please
He was
do.
listed
Asked and
as-
answered.
He was listed as safety, but he played a lot of that Taron Johnson role. He played up on receivers, up in the box quite a bit. He wasn't afraid to get his helmet on the ball. Wow, kind of slowed that one. But no, exciting. It's iron sharpens iron. I think he's going to come in and give Taron Johnson a run for his money. But I like the way this kid played. And again, like they said, safety, but he played up. Also, this is kind of getting to the point that we made a couple weeks ago that Poyer and Hyder, they're not young bucks anymore, but they're still elite. They got to get somebody in there to mold the way that they play, and I think this is a perfect pickup.
Sure.
Carry on.
I think it's divine.
Devin. Devin.
You know what? Hyde and Poyer are each 30 years old. Poyer has 2 years on his contract. Hyde has 3 years. I've been saying for a while, we've been saying for a while that I called them minions earlier in the post that I posted earlier. We need to start bringing people in. Buffalo already has Jaquan Johnson from Miami, who's a great special teamer. He's learning under the system. He's still with the Bills. He's played a couple years. But this Hamlin fella, I'm reading that he may be the steal of the 6th round. 6'1", 200 pounds. He's a good size guy.
That's a big guy.
Yeah.
He played football with Dane Jackson, so over in Pitt. So that's
Sweet.
pretty exciting. Just the same as that Marquez Stevenson in Houston played with at Albert.
Yeah.
But I'm getting from this guy high football IQ. He takes the right angles. He's disciplined, has ball skills, and he gets off blocks. So that I told you before the show started, I think it's a combination of Poyer and Hyde, and getting off blocks in that nickel position reminds me a lot of what Jarrod just said is Taron Johnson.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we need to start. You hate to start having to think about replacing some of our elite athletes, but
Yeah.
like I said, Poyer and Hyde are 30 plus. Not replacing them, but thinking about a little help is a good idea.
It's a
Taron Johnson's
transition,
one of
right? Like you gotta be prepared for it. Nobody plays the game forever. Very few get a chance to play it as long as those dudes have played it. You know, so yeah, it's smart football. It's also smart to bring these guys in to start to challenge some of these guys that have. You know, I'm not saying Taron Johnson has underperformed, but he hasn't performed enough to be a starter on a regular basis, right?
Right.
So you start to get these guys in here to push it and be like, look, is this young kid a better option? Does he have a better body type? Is he quicker? Does he read it faster? Is there more of an upside? Like, you know, I think all of this stuff is healthy. And some of the things that being a good football team, like, the fans are going to lose a little bit of that, like, it's like sad sack, homer, long shot kind of players that you really want to root for that kind of linger on the team for a long amount of time without actually, like, getting, like, a shot, but you keep rooting for them to do it. I think that's, like, a thing of the past now. I don't think you're going to get your Duke Williams. I don't think you're going to get, like, these kind of players that you're like, man, you know, just a couple more years and, like, whatever, you know, like, they're not going to get their shot. It's going to be, we got young kids in here that can do it. All of our starters are elite. Show us something. And if you can't, you're gone.
And on that point, Swank, it's hard for fans to see it, but these athletes know what's going on. It's a business.
Absolutely.
You have to show up now, or else we'll find someone to replace you. And I've always said it, and this is how I roll. Whoever dresses up on Sundays, who I root for.
Yep.
There's going to be players that I love to see be successful, but if there's another player that's better that's going to step up and help the Bills win, then you got to go with it. And it sucks, but you just got to go with it.
Yeah, well, and I think that you can still get that feeling. Like, I don't think the sense of, like, being a fan or a player in Buffalo has changed to the point where it's like, you know, it's not like New England fans and that team. It seems like mechanical. It seems industrial, right? It's a product. It's a machine. There's a lot more love in Buffalo. There's a lot more connection from the players to the team, regardless of whether it's like the lovable losers, you know, which we got used to for a very long time.
Yes.
Now we have a top 3 caliber NFL team right down the road from us, you know, like it's real now. And it's a different mindset, and it's just going to be a little bit different of a feeling. So, yeah. That also being said, I don't want to see Hyde or Poyer go anytime before they want
Never.
to. Yeah.
Never. Old man.
Real quick, our cornerback depth. White obviously signed that new contract. He's here for another 5 years. Wallace is just on a 1-year contract. Taron Johnson, 1 year. Dane Jackson still on his rookie contract for 2, and then Cam Lewis will be our 5th corner. So I think Rashad Wild Goose, the guy that we're going to talk about next, will be our 5th guy. I think Cam Lewis is going to be bumped, but we need to start making some noise in cornerback position because right now we only have 2 people that are going to be here next year.
Yeah.
Round 6, pick number 213, Rashad Wild Goose, however you want to say his name.
Wild
But
Goose,
listen,
dude, he's got the best name
I know,
in football,
people are wanting
dude.
his
Wild
jersey.
Goose.
People are wanting his jersey.
Hell
Cornerback
yeah.
from Wisconsin. You guys got any notes on this guy?
Quick feet, stays on the wide receiver's hip well. Ball skills. He lacks experience. That's why he fell.
Again, experience is only in the eye of the beholder, right? You can mold him when he comes to your team to how you want him. So experience is a little bit of a factor, but make him who you want. Wild Goose.
Wild Goose, dude.
Are they going to allow people to bring calls in?
That was good, dude. Wow, that was really good.
Did it sound good on the mic here?
Yeah. Super clear.
All right, so he's a good athlete, so it'd be interesting to see how that folds. And that's exciting. We're going to have OTAs. We're going to have preseason stuff happening in the next couple months. Preseason. Exciting things, guys. All right. We did not touch on the unrestricted free agents or whatever, whatever they are called. We will next week. We'll touch on those guys next week a little bit. Last thing I want to talk about really quick before we do the Fandemonium Wheel of Destiny. Tremaine Edmonds and Josh Allen just signed their 5th-year deal, which means what, Scott?
Basically, I know a lot of people are confused. It needed to happen before May 1st, so they were able to reach the agreement for a 5th-year option. Some people look down on it. It basically is guaranteeing the Bills when they're signing the first round, they're obviously given a 5th-round option. Usually the 4th year is the year that they put an extension on a player, but with the whole cap losing 18 mil this past year because of COVID and all that stuff, I think the Bills opted to give them their 5th-year option, guarantees the money for Allen at $23 million for next year, and guarantees Tremaine Edmonds at $12.7 million. So basically, we have them for this year, we have them for next year, and McDermott, Bean, and the front office, they're smart about it. We can plan on, and this is only Rumorville, the cap dropped obviously this past year, but with revenue and letting people in the stands and getting money back, by time Josh Allen and Edmonds need to get paid again to talk about new contract, I have seen up to $15 to $20 million added to the cap every year for the next couple of years. So by the time that 2 years is up, we're looking at $40 million extra cap. So it only makes sense that by the time their contract is up, then they'll be able to spend a lot more money. So I think it's kind of something they had to sign these guys. They had to, but they couldn't guarantee them a lot of money yet until they figured out what the cap looks like in 2 years.
I want to see him sign Josh Allen to the Bobby Bonilla contract. Just saying.
Over a 20-year period.
But he plays.
But that's why I wore this hat today, is because this is the draft hat that Allen and Edmonds were wearing in the photo.
Well, it's funny because that's the graphic Scott made. It's got Edmonds and Allen, head to head with that hat on. So when you flipped it around, I had switched to that graphic, and it was
perfect.
Yeah,
that's why I wore it today.
Oh, look at you guys! Look at you guys! What are you, twins?
Scott, yours looks a little cleaner. Mine looks like I'm sweating through it. But...
Yours looks like you mowed the lawn in it.
All right, guys. Fantastic S2E9. We got one more thing to do tonight, unless anybody has anything else to say.
I mean, I'm really stoked on attendance right now. Like, people are tuning in and consistent, and we're hitting 20s, and it's awesome. And thank you guys so much. Don't forget to tell your friends about it. Don't forget to like us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Do all that stuff. I love some of the conversations that are going on in the comments, man.
They're all
People
positive too.
just
man.
asking how
positive.
everybody's doing, and it really is like a family, and I don't throw that around very lightly. So this is awesome, and we love you guys, and thanks so much.
We just had a Giants fan join the group, Jimmy Linden. welcome. He's a buddy of ours, high school, homegrown. Welcome to the
Junior
group.
wins.
They had some pretty good picks.
I had to throw some Giants. Yeah, our buddy Billy Gallagher called in live during the show.
Yeah,
and
that was fun, man.
Yeah, they got a good receiver from Florida University, I think, right?
Yep, Tony Kadar's Tony.
We also we were
they stole a first round pick from whoever they traded the Bears last year for next year.
We kind of shit on I shit on the Dolphins' first round pick without knowing or realizing, I guess, at the time that was Tua's wide receiver.
Right.
So I'd like to eat a little crow and say that it was a good pick because they had a good draft. You know, they're not going to be anywhere near us this year, but they had a good draft. So
I still don't know who's going to block for Tua, though.
Yeah, exactly. That's the problem. He's going to have to run around in circles. And then who's going to bail him out? Brissett.
Right. There you go, guys. 24/7 Buff Pandemonium stickers. Personal message us your address. We'll send them out for free. We have 24/7 Buff Pandemonium black and white shirts still available. We do have the pre-order. Getting ready to go out for the Stefan Diggs Notorious Diggs shirts. $25 shipping and handling plus $5 will go to the American Heart Association. Let's get rid of this guy. What do you guys say?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, all right.
All right,
yes.
Again, if
The moment
you
we've all been waiting for.
called in or left a comment on the Thursday night draft party show, you were on the Pandemonium Wheel of Destiny. Is it up, Swank?
It is now.
All right. Give that wheel a spin.
That's it? That's all the hype you're giving it?
I guess so. I don't know. Does anybody want anything?
No, it's a pretty sweet little helmet. Turn it around, you can see the little leaf authenticity there on the back right. There you go. Andre Reed, mini helmet.
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 All right, ready? Count it
All
down.
right, yeah, we're
Count
ready.
it down.
And in 4, 3, 2, 1.
Pew, pew, pew.
It's like over 30 people, right? It's crazy. Brent Thomason.
Nice.
Oh,
we got a new winner.
Thomason.
Brent Thomason. There you go.
Yo, big up. That's like the biggest giveaway we've ever done. Congratulations, sir.
Yeah. All we need you to do is find our messenger on 24/7 Buff Pandemonium. Send us your address, and we will get that to you ASAP. Awesome.
Congratulations, Brent.
Congrats, man.
Closing thoughts. Scott, go ahead.
Hey, the draft's over with. We have a second wind of free agency. Teams are going to start dropping players. Bills don't have a lot of cap space, so I don't see them making a lot of noise. I was thinking maybe cornerback if they addressed anything, but we shall see. We shall see. It's going to be a busy next couple weeks, but then it's going to die off there. But we'll keep you updated on a lot of the information. And happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day. Swank, you're up, bud.
Yeah, man. I'm kind of looking forward to next week because I think we can dive a little bit into what the other AFC's teams got
I was
into.
going to say,
and
yep, state of the AFC.
Yeah, and kind of evaluate all that. You know, it's awesome to be stoked that the Bills drafted a bunch of linemen. Like, this is exactly the kind of Bills team that I've always wanted, to where it's like they can just start stacking the line. Like, you don't have to worry about anything else really, you know, and providing quality depth. So it's a great time to be a Bills fan. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us at the draft party last week and hanging out with us tonight. Tell your friends. And if you want to hang out with us every Tuesday night for the Gun Report, just do it, damn it. You can do it. You can do it. It's 8 p.m. to 8:45. We're rolling up on 9-ish right now. We're a little excited about the draft, so catch us on Facebook Live. You can also catch up on episodes after the fact, and I will be updating the podcast versions on Anchor, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts just as soon as I can.
Yeah, because it's very nice to listen to our voices while you're driving into work. Our angelic voices just talking about Buffalo Bills football.
Yeah.
No, for real. You wake up in the morning, you're driving to work, 45 minutes, an hour, hit us up. Real quick, Joey Hatch mentioned that tight end in the Eagles still haven't been signed. Keep an eye out for him. Here's the reality with that one, and I hate to extend the show a little bit. But the reason why no one is trading, because no one wants to pay Ertz.
No.
So what happens after that deadline? I said, I think it's June. After that June deadline, if he's not signed, then teams can offer a low ball offer. He will no longer make the money that the Eagles promised him. So I think that's what teams are waiting for. And again, unless the Bills get rid of both Hughes and Addison, I don't see them being able to afford Ertz, but I've seen crazier things happen. So Joey Hatch, keep the dream alive, my friend, until it's all said and done.
There's got to be something to be said for coming to a competitive team too. So like, if you want your shot, then come and get it, man.
Come and get it.
Right? He's already got a Super Bowl ring, right?
Yeah.
Was he on the team?
Nick Foles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe that doesn't entice him. Maybe he thinks he's worth a bunch. I think he would be valued, but he's not the end all be all.
Right.
So
I say keep him away. Thanks everybody for watching tonight, participating tonight. We'll definitely share this show through the group and the page, so people who haven't been able to see it tonight can watch it throughout the week. Thank you guys very much. The Fandemonium is what make this show roll. We love your comments, so we can talk about everything. And next week we'll talk about the guys who weren't picked up in the draft that we picked up later on after, and the AFC East and what it looks like. Like I said, we'll see you next week, Tuesday, 8 o'clock. Go Bills.
Go Bills.
go